Finally, you're back. Oh, I've been waiting for 5 long minutes, waiting for you to come back. Ya era hora. It's about time. ¿Se dice en inglés? It is about time. Una expresión rarísima en su lógica gramatical porque no tiene ninguna. Pero hay que decirlo con la contracción porque es una frase hecha. Ya era hora. It's about time. It's about time. Siempre presente. Nunca it was about time. It's about time. Ya es hora de que vengas. Si llamo a alguien, oye, Pepe, ya es hora de que vengas, ¿eh? It's about time you come. Ahora, cuando aparece Pepe, digo, ya era hora de que vinieras. Sigo con it's about time, pero cambio come a came. Pepe, it's about time you came. Okay? All right, it's about time to have you back. Okay, I have Maria Jesus with me, the same person as the last half hour. And we're going to do vocabulary. List 24, book 4. I have 6 books. Vaughan Systems has 6 books devoted to vocabulary with about, in all, I think it's 5,600 words from category 1, easy, to category 6, only for the super intelligent, okay? So we cover all these words. They're very interesting words, relevant words. Some of them have a Latin origin, some have Germanic Anglo-Saxon origin. So it's quite interesting. Some are verbs, some nouns, adjectives, everything. And so with Maria Jesus, we're going to go down the list quickly, and I'm going to keep score, una puntuación. To keep score is mantener una puntuación, to see how many she gets right the first time. Okay? And if it takes her too long to say it, that counts as a miss, as a mistake, okay? Okay, so, are you ready? You ready? Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right. Number 1, una reunión amistosa.
A friendly meeting.
No.
A friendly gathering.
No. A get-together.
All right.
A friendly meeting es una reunión que acaba siendo majo y amistoso. Pero puede ser una reunión del Consejo de Administración. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now, una reunión amistosa is a get-together.
All right.
A get-together. Okay, avería.
Breakdown.
Breakdown, very good. Debido a.
Due to.
Good. Relámpago. O rayo.
I can't believe I can't say it.
Too late. Too late. Lightning.
Yes.
Lightning, 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 lightning and thunder. Rayos y centellas o
Yes.
centollos?
Centellas.
All
Could be
right.
centollos if you are in the northeast of Spain.
Yeah.
Northwest.
Northwest, you have crabs coming down, right? Okay. Mutuo.
Mutual.
No, pronunciation is bad.
Oh, come on.
The pronunciation, mutual, parece que estás
mutual.
pidiendo que mucho, moi, bésame.
Well,
Mew.
Mutual.
¿Cómo se dice los toros? Miura. Mutual.
Mutual.
Mutual. Farmacéutico.
Pharmaceutical.
No, un farmacéutico. Soy farmacéutico. I am a?
Chemistry. Chemist. I'm a chemist.
It's wrong. The first time, I'm a chemist.
Chemist.
In England. And in America? In America, a chemist is alguien en el laboratorio que realiza química. Do you understand?
Pharmaceutical then?
A pharmacist.
Pharmacist.
Yeah, pharmacist.
Oof.
So far, you've missed 4. Okay.
Out of 5?
Un político.
Politician.
Politician. Una postal.
A card.
No. A card is una
postcard.
naipe. It's too late. I'm sorry. Digno de elogio.
Remarkable.
No. Eso es extraordinario. Digno de elogio.
Outstanding.
¿Cómo se dice elogiar?
Proud. To pride somebody. To proud. To pride. To proud.
Proud is orgulloso. O sea, es orgullar.
No.
To pride. Pride. Quiet. Pride es orgullo. O también es soberbia cuando se dice bad pride.
Ajá.
Orgullo malo es soberbia. Proud es orgulloso. Now, elogiar o alabar. ¿Cómo se dice? Alabado sea Dios. ¿Cómo se dice?
To
Dios?
praise.
Praise. How do you spell it?
Praise.
Praise. Praise. Ahora, ¿cómo se dice digno de confianza? Trust.
Trustworthy.
¿Cómo se dice digno de elogio? Praise.
Praiseworthy.
Praiseworthy. All right. Very common, praiseworthy. Has hecho un trabajo digno de elogio. You've done a praiseworthy job.
Right.
Okay, bienes raíces, inmobiliaria. Sí, inmobiliaria.
Inmobiliaria.
Un agente inmobiliario es a ¿qué tipo de agente?
Agent. An agent. You were too quick.
No, la inmobiliaria es real estate.
Yes,
Real
I
estate.
know.
Bienes
but-
raíces are real estate. Estate, con E. La E sí suena y hay una E.
Ajá.
Estate es patrimonio, que puede ser líquido o tangible. Tangible and intangible assets in your estate. Entonces, sus bienes. Ahora, bienes raíces son bienes que puedes tocar. Terreno, casa, those son bienes raíces. That's real estate, o sea, patrimonio real. Real estate. Ok, recompensa.
Reward.
Reward, sugerencia.
Suggestion.
Pronunciación.
Suggestion. Suggestion.
¿Cómo se dice abrazo? Un abrazo.
Hug. To hug.
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 No, no. Hug.
Hug.
All right. ¿Cómo se dice alfombra?
Rug.
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 ¿Cómo se dice bicho? Un bicho. Bug.
Bug.
Bug. Ahora, bug, quita la B y ponme una S. Sug.
Suggestion.
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 Sug. Y dilo separado y luego lo vas juntando.
Suggestion.
Suggestion. Suggestion.
Suggestion.
Buggestion. Ruggestion. Huggestion. Suggestion. All right. ¿Sugerencia?
Suggestion.
Eso suena mucho mejor. Los moros.
The Moors.
The Moors. The suggestion. Okay, the Moors. Por lo tanto. Por lo tanto.
So.
Or.
Since. No.
No, therefore. Therefore. Lograr, conseguir.
Achieve.
Or.
Get.
Cumplir.
Accomplish.
Accomplish.
That counts for 3.
No, nada de eso nada. Adjuntar.
To adjoin.
No.
No, attach.
All right. It's too late. I'm sorry. Or to enclose.
All right.
To enclose, for example, if you write a normal letter, okay, and an envelope, you fold the letter and you put it into an envelope.
You enclose.
And then you want to put a bill, for example, a banknote, 20 euros. You enclose. To enclose is cuando juntas suelto. To attach is cuando juntas pegado. With a paper clip or a staple. You understand? You attach. Now, in computer technology, of course, in email technology, they say to attach. Because it's not, no está suelto, it's attached
to something.
Figuratively. All right, so we to attach. So probably the best word in the future is to attach.
All right.
Okay, not to enclose. Expulsar.
Expel.
To expel. Inundar.
To flood.
To flood.
Flood.
¿Cómo se dice sangre?
Blood.
Blood. Manejar. Manejar a personas. Manejarles.
Manage.
Eso es gestionar. To handle.
Handle.
To handle people. Do you know how to handle people? Do you know how to handle people?
Yes, I do.
Do you know how to handle English teachers? Some
Yes,
of them.
some of them.
All
Or
right.
sometimes.
Okay. Do you know how to handle verbs and prepositions?
Sometimes.
Do you know how to handle phonetics?
That's even more difficult.
All right. Asegurarse de.
To make sure.
Very good. Or to make certain. Superar, sobreponerse a.
To overcome.
To overcome. Dar ejemplo.
To set an example.
Very good. Descargar. Descargar mercancía.
Unload.
Descargar. To unload. Acomodado.
Wealthy.
No. Wealthy is más. Adinerado is wealthy. Acomodado means bien. Media alta.
Fluent.
Affluent.
Affluent.
That's perfect. Or well off. That family is well off. It's very common. That family is very well off. It could be adinerado. If you say very well off, it means upper class. Are you a member of the upper class?
No, I'm not.
Are you a member of the lower class?
No, I'm not either.
Are you a member of the lower middle class?
No, I don't think so.
Are you a member of the upper middle class?
I think I'm just middle class.
Yours is middle class, right in the middle.
Yes.
That's the worst. Okay.
I know.
All right. And is your boss a member of the upper class?
I think he is.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Well, it
All right.
depends on your definition for upper class.
Upper class means aristocrats and rich
right.
people. Come on. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué te pasa?
What's
¿Qué pasa?
wrong?
What's wrong? Okay. Okay, you missed 11. 11 out of 25.
That's
okay.
really bad.
Okay, vamos al principio. Una reunión amistosa.
A
A get-together.
get-together.
Yeah. Ask me if I'm planning a get-together for next Friday evening.
Are you planning a get-together for next Friday evening?
No, I'm not. Ask me if I would like to get together with you and your brother to have dinner.
Would you like to get together with me and my brother for dinner?
Oh, I'd love to. Eso es como un verbo ahora, separado. But a get-together es con guión. A get-together. Ask me if I enjoy get-togethers.
Do you enjoy get-togethers?
It depends who's attending. I'm not a party person. All right, ask me if I like to get together with friends.
Do you like to get together with friends?
Often I do. I like to get together with friends. Okay, avería.
Breakdown.
Have you ever suffered a breakdown in the middle of the night?
Yes, I have.
Okay, have you ever suffered a breakdown in a major highway?
Yes, I have.
All right, have you ever suffered a breakdown on a lonely road?
Yes, I have.
Ask me if I've ever suffered a breakdown in the middle of nowhere.
Have you ever suffered a breakdown in the middle of nowhere?
Yes, I have. Ask me if I've ever suffered a breakdown in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere.
Have you ever suffered a breakdown in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the night?
Yes, I have. Ask me if I was alone.
Were you alone?
No, I wasn't. Ask me who I was with.
Who were you with?
I was with my family. Ask me where we were.
Where were you?
We were in Illinois, near the Mississippi River. Ask me what time it was.
What time was it?
Around 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay? Ask me why the car broke down.
Why did the car break down?
The alternator stopped working and feeding electricity to the engine, to the battery. Okay? And ask me what we did.
What did you do?
We started to get out of the car, and another car passed, luckily, and saw 2 little children. Ask me how old my kids were.
How old were your kids?
They were about 9 and 6, or about 8 and 5. They were very young. Okay, ask me if my wife was a bit uncomfortable.
Was your wife a bit uncomfortable?
It was pitch black. You couldn't see anything. You couldn't see anything. You couldn't see the grass, the ground you were walking on. And we were able to see because after about 1 minute, a car came. And the headlights of the car allowed us to see where we were. I mean, we couldn't see anything. Apparently there was no moon that night or something, but we couldn't see. All right. Now, we had a flashlight, or a torch, as they say in England. Okay. All right. A breakdown. Okay, and how do you say desglose?
Breakdown.
A breakdown. Okay. Ask me if I have ever made a breakdown of sales in my company.
Have you ever done have you ever made a breakdown of sales in your company?
Of course, many times. Ask me if I've ever made a geographical breakdown.
Have you ever made a geographical breakdown?
Yes, I have. Ask me if I have ever presented a breakdown by product line.
Have you ever presented a breakdown by product line?
Yes, I have. Ask me if I like to break down the sales.
Do you like to break down the sales?
Yes, I do. Ask me if I like to break down the costs.
Do you like to break down the costs?
Yes, I do. Ask me how I prefer to break down the costs.
How do you prefer to break down the costs?
I prefer to break down the costs by product line, not by office or geographical area. I prefer to break down the costs, okay, by product line, okay? Ask me who breaks them down for me.
Who breaks them down for you?
Good. The computer system. All right. Okay. Okay, so ask me how do you say ataque nervioso?
A nervous breakdown.
Good. Ask me if I've ever suffered a nervous breakdown.
Have you ever suffered a nervous breakdown?
No, I haven't. Ask me if I've ever lost my temper.
Have you ever lost your temper?
Yes, I have. Ask me if I've ever thrown things.
Have you ever thrown things?
Yes, I have. Ask me what's the worst thing I ever threw.
What's the worst thing you've ever thrown?
A typewriter.
Really?
Ask me how big it was.
How big was it?
It was big enough that it's difficult to carry.
So
you can carry it, but not very far. Ask me where I threw it.
Where did you throw it?
I threw it at the wall. Ask me what happened to the wall.
What happened to the wall?
It broke. Okay. Ask me what happened to the typewriter.
What happened to the typewriter?
It broke too. It was worse. Okay. After seeing the wall, I said, what? And the poor typewriter. Okay.
Lost for good.
But you see, ask me where this happened.
Where did that happen?
In Oklahoma. And ask me what the wall was made of.
What was the wall made of?
It was made of wood. It was not made of wood. It was similar to what you call pladur. Okay. Plasterboard. And so it's not very strong. Ask me if it made a hole in the wall.
Did it make a hole in the wall?
Yes, it did. Now, ask me if I consider that a nervous breakdown.
Do you consider that a nervous breakdown?
No, a nervous breakdown is much more critical, serious. A nervous breakdown requires psychological or psychiatric help. Ask me if I know any psychiatrists.
Do you know any psychiatrists?
Yes, I do. One of my students on my Friday programs is a psychiatrist, a new one, a shrink. All right, te encoge el coco. Yeah, and he's yeah. And so if I need psychiatric help, maybe I can get a discount. I can say to him, hey, I can say, Miguel,
That's always good.
Can you give me a discount and look at my head? All right, fine. No, I've never had a nervous breakdown. I'm quite balanced, but I have gotten very upset, of course, and lost my temper and thrown things, okay? And that was probably the worst. Ask me if I remember what my parents said when they saw the wall.
What did your parents say when they saw the wall?
I don't remember. Ask me how old I was.
How old were you?
Probably 17 or 18.
And what had happened?
Well, because I think I'm a fast typist, and I think I kept making, you know, when you make a mistake on a typewriter, you have to type it again. Or you use a messy liquid eraser or something.
Yes.
And I think I got just very upset, frustrated, and finally I vented. Se dice ventilé mi frustración. Se dice to vent. Los
Ventiladores?
How do you say las rejillas de ventilación are called vents? Okay? Vents. And the expression to vent is to airear tu frustración. Okay? And I vented my frustration by throwing it. Ask me if I was calm after that.
Were you, sorry?
Ask me if I was calm.
Sorry, were you calm after that?
Of course, yeah. Looking at the broken wall, broken tower.
Were you worried?
No, I don't remember being worried about that. That's so strange. I cannot remember. Maybe my mind put it back in my subconscious. Okay, good. But I've never suffered a nervous breakdown. Have you ever suffered a nervous breakdown?
No, I don't think so.
No, a nervous breakdown requires a year of convalescence.
No, I haven't.
A person who suffers a nervous breakdown needs to be on leave of absence. How do you say excedencia?
On
or
leave.
bueno, permiso por enfermedad. On leave of absence or on leave. Sick leave. Because it requires a long recovery process and a treatment.
No, then I have never suffered a nervous breakdown.
Eso se llama breakdown. Aquí se dice ataque nervioso,
Sí.
ataque.
Yeah.
Pero ataque is a nervous attack. Seems to me, it gives me the impression of being temporary. But breakdown is avería. O sea, es un desglose. Mira, las tres palabras donde breakdown tienen conexión. Avería, desglose y ataque nervioso. Breakdown. Todo viene la idea de descomponer. Okay. Un problema de motor, algo se descompone, se viene abajo. Okay. Breakdown. Caput. Okay. It's a breakdown. Cuando haces un desglose, coges o tomas lo que es una cifra global y lo vas descomponiendo en componentes. Y hay una descomposición, en este caso positiva para el análisis, ¿ok? Y una descomposición psicológica. Es que your brain just decomposes, it breaks down into pieces, ¿ok? Ok, como una lluvia de estrellas, pero son trozos de cerebro. You understand?
Yes.
Okay. So, a nervous breakdown. Okay. All right, relámpago.
Lightning.
Okay, una tormenta con aparato eléctrico, ¿cómo se dice?
Lightning, no? An electricity storm?
An electric storm, you can say. We say electric storm, but there's a much more common expression. In the center of Spain, many times, especially in the summer,
Yes.
what kind of storms do you suffer?
Electric.
Thunderstorms.
Thunderstorms, yes.
A thunderstorm. We say tormenta de truenos, curiosamente. We say a thunderstorm for una tormenta de verano fuerte con mucho relámpago. Rayo y relámpago is lightning. Okay, a lightning bolt, B-O-L-T, is what Zeus hurled down to the earth. You understand?
Yes.
Los rayos. Okay? Throwing them down. All right? Lightning bolt. Have you ever seen lightning?
Yes, I have.
All right. Is there a lot of lightning in Burgos during
Sometimes
storms?
in the summer.
Ask me if there's a lot of lightning in the Midwest.
Is there a lot of lightning in the Midwest?
There's a lot. Scary. It's scary. The storms in the Midwest are very, very, very strong. Of course, they include tornadoes. And so there's always a lot of lightning. The atmospheric pressure falls. The sky turns almost black. Sometimes the hens roost. Means they go to sleep. It's so dark. It's like night. And it could be 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And so that's how scary it gets. But it's a nice feeling. When you feel the pressure drop, you can smell the storm.
Yes.
And then it opens.
All the tension goes.
Yeah, it's really something. Okay, mutuo.
Mutual.
Todos muda. Mutual. Mutual. Okay. Are we here for our mutual benefit?
Yes.
Are you benefiting?
I am.
Ask me if I'm benefiting.
Are you benefiting?
I don't know.
Probably you aren't, but I am.
Okay.
That's for
mutual.
sure.
It's for your and my mutual benefit. You benefit because your English improves, and I benefit because they pay me for this class. So there we are benefiting mutually for this, okay? So you get improvement in English in line with my improvement in my financial situation, okay? Mutually beneficial. Mutually beneficial se dice mucho en inglés, mutuamente beneficioso, mutually beneficial. All right, farmacéutico. Pharmacist.
Pharmacist.
Or a chemist in Reino Unido. Tú dices chemist fuera de Reino Unido y Irlanda.
And they don't understand you.
Now, in England, you say pharmacist, everybody understands. I'm going to go to the chemists because I need to speak to the chemist. Okay. In America, I'm going to the pharmacy to speak to the pharmacist.
All right.
All right, good. Now, you say in America, I'm going to the chemists. They don't understand what you're saying. They can say, oh, you're going to the laboratory or the laboratory. No, I'm going to the chemist. They don't understand.
So it's better to use...
It's better to use the American
pharmacy.
Because the British understand American English because of television in Hollywood. They understand American English usually perfectly. The Americans don't understand British expressions when they are different because they've never heard them in their life. Because British films and television don't penetrate North America enough. Some British films are brilliant, and many British and Irish films have won the Oscar for the Best Picture. Many of the films produced by David Lean, The Bridge Over the River Kwai, or the Dr. Zhivago, what was the one of Lawrence of Arabia, Ryan's Daughter. All of these were by David Lean, who I think was Irish. And so, of course, he was always nominated or rewarded with the Oscar, the Academy Awards. So people appreciate, but they're not enough to make an imprint. And so people recognize British ways of speech. And besides, a British director who wants to be successful in Hollywood as well, or the producers who want to distribute the British film in the North American market, they stay away from words that are only said in the UK. All right, usually. All right. Okay, so farmacéutico?
Pharmacist.
Ask me if I would like to be a pharmacist.
Would you like to be a pharmacist?
No, I wouldn't. Not that I don't respect the job, but I wouldn't like to. Ask me if there's a big difference between pharmacists here and in my country.
Is there a big difference between a pharmacist here and in your country?
Very, very big. Very big. When you go to the pharmacy in the States, you need to wait because they need to prepare it. Still, today. Normally, when you visit a pharmacy in the States, you need 5 to 10 minutes to wait. Okay? And you give them a prescription from the doctor, and the pharmacist does not return the prescription to you. The pharmacist prepares it and puts a little instruction only on dosage, nothing else. So what you call here the prospecto, I think, we don't see in the States. It's only between the doctor and the pharmacist, okay? And then you can't go back and fill that prescription a second time. You need to go back to the doctor.
To get the prescription.
To get the prescription again. And it's very different. Here they seem like they dispatch, just selling. It's like any shop. basically. But it's not true, but it seems like that. Okay, we need to go. Marco is telling us, stop. Time is up and the class is over. I'll see you again in a future program. But I'll see you again in 5 minutes, so you cannot get away yet. I haven't finished with you, okay? Come back in 5 minutes.